Now, 16 political parties are filing out on the 18th of July 2022 to seek voters' consent that will result in one of them being elected as governor of Ekiti State. According to the final list of candidates eligible to participate released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, only 16 parties out of the 18 registered parties in Nigeria are vying for the governorship office. The release of the final list of candidates has raised the tempo of electioneering in the state. Joining us to speak on his chance in the coming election is Bisi Kolawole, the People's Democratic Party's gubernatorial candidate in Ekiti State. We want to say thank you for joining us here on Newsday. There was a time that PDP was the dominant party in Ekiti State, not anymore. As it stands right now, do you think that PDP has what it takes to return back to the government house in Ado-Ekiti?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Well, we used to be at the end of affairs in Ekiti State once upon a time, but it was obvious that we were rigged out of the last election. And I want to assure you, the good people of Ekiti State are waiting for us to return to Kiayama. That's the government house there. They cannot wait to have us back because Ekiti State is predominantly a PDP state. It's a PDP state. But it's God that knows best. The last election we won, but it was rigged. But the good people of Ekiti State are well prepared this time around to return us back to the government house. They can't wait for us to get back there.
Well, can you talk to us? Can you talk to us a bit about your manifesto? What can the people of Ekiti State expect from you if you are elected as governor of the state?
Yeah, we want to do things differently. When we were there, when Governor Fayose was there, we were pursuing a kind of manifesto that was people-oriented. People-oriented, and the good people of Ekiti State realized the fact that our government took education beyond the ordinary level to a very high pedestal. And we want to follow that method. The method that we were using to lead in WAEC, to lead in NECO, to excel our students excelling in higher institutions and all that. And we want to take the youth out of the streets. We want to take them off the street. We will encourage them we will give them create an enabling environment for them to participate in farming and stop all this joblessness on the streets. I just mentioned something about education, and I'm relating it with our boys, our people, our children roaming the streets after leaving school, having nothing to do. We want to take them to the farm, encourage them, and create very good opportunity for them to participate in farming. And as far as we are concerned, our government, we encourage farming. Not only students, we will encourage the traditional farmers to get into farming and boost agriculture in Ekiti State. And aside from that, the commercial situation, the commercial level, the trading, the traders and all that, and the market women, we want to encourage them to realize more profits. We want to encourage them to enjoy what they are doing. That is embedded in our program. And I want to assure you too that we want to take the payment of salary of workers very seriously this time around. We don't want the workers to suffer again. The idea of owing arrears of salary and all that will definitely be a thing of the past by the grace of God. We have all these in the pipeline. We have so many other things in the pipeline. We want to encourage small-scale industries here and there so that we get our people engaged. Cottage industries will be encouraged, and some of these moribund industries will will be revitalized. We will wake them up and ensure that things start working again as it used to be. There is a vast area of land in somewhere in those local governments. In those days, we used to have agricultural settlement here, agricultural settlement. We want to reawake all those projects and ensure that our people are gainfully engaged and gainfully employed. So many other things in the pipeline.
Okay.
And
it's good to.
Most importantly,
sorry to interrupt you, sir. For the sake of time, I must interrupt you. Your manifesto sounds like you have quite a few things in the pipeline, and we are looking forward to hearing more of that at another time. But I want to ask you about the governance within your state. Ekiti State has been known to be quite fraught with skirmishes of violence, especially during the electoral period. I'm wondering what you are going to be working on in terms of security for the state, which is one of the things you weren't able to touch on earlier.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about security. When we were in government, you will recollect how we were able to take charge of the security situation in the state. Ekiti State used to be a very peaceful place. Kidnapping was at zero level. But as soon as these people came, you know what has been happening. That is an area where we have a strategy to revert to what we were doing, to ensure that security is the major, is what is expected of an average human being is expected to be protected by the government. But we are not able to do that now. But we want to assure you that we have a strategy in place where an average Ekiti person, Ekiti indigene will sleep in his house with his two eyes closed. Not a situation where they enter houses now and kidnap obas and everybody. Nobody is secured any longer. But when we were in government, we were able to protect lives and properties of people of Ekiti State. So we are going to take it very seriously, and it's a major project that we have to do, because without security, nobody will be ready to come and invest in Ekiti State. So it's a way of enticing people to Ekiti State, and we will ensure that we revert to what we used to have. That is having a peaceful environment in Ekiti State. Right. I assure you, we have a strategy, and we will ensure that it is achieved.
All right, Mr. Kolawole, a lot of pundits will say that the PDP in Ekiti State suffered a very dastardly blow when Segun Oni actually left the party with quite a lot of supporters. And some people are worried, I must say, genuinely worried that maybe the clout of the former governor, Fayose, might not be enough to swing the votes back to the PDP. What do you have to say to this?
Well, I may want to ask you, was he ever in the party? Was Oni ever in the party? Let me remind you, in 2014, some few days to election, Governor Segun Oni decamped from PDP. That was about 8 years ago. We won that election. That was when Governor Fayose came back. Coming back to PDP, I think he was just beginning to entrench himself into the system in PDP. After leaving the party for about 8 years, he was coming to grab the governorship. It's not done. He left APC with some people. The people he traveled, he was on this nomadic journey to APC. He went there with some people. When he was coming back, he could not come back with all of them. And the same thing when he came back to PDP, he decided to do the usual thing. It's very easy for him to move about. He has left us, and with or without him, God will be God. And we are very sure of winning that election without him. I'm not sure. He must have left with some scanty people. I disagree with you when you say a large number of people. We have been reconciling in our various wards, local governments, and all is well as far as we are concerned. Leaving the party does not affect the fortunes of the party. We will surely win. Like we won in 2014 when he left, we will win this time around. And don't forget, when he left in 2014, he left for a bigger party. I'm very sure SDP, there's no third force in the Ekiti State. It has never happened. I think it's just out for spoiling situation which he cannot achieve. I assure you, the PD people traditionally, they don't decamp with you. We've had cases of good leaders that left the party, and when they were going, nobody followed them. No typical PDP person followed this man to APC, to SDP. And let me quickly tell you.
Let me briefly interrupt you. Let me briefly interrupt you for a moment, Mr. Kolawole. You spoke about the former governor, Ayo Fayose, but we understand that there are reports of a rift between you and former governor Ayo Fayose over campaign funds. What more can you tell us about that?
That is just mere fiction. It's the imagination of detractors, propaganda to discredit us. Nothing of such happened. He's my leader. He's the leader of the party in the state. He endorsed me to be the candidate of the party, and he won the election for me. I have no reason. I have absolute trust in him, in his leadership. I have no reason to have uttered that kind of statement or to have issued that kind of. If you read it properly, you will know it's all this cheap propaganda. It's not real. It was just mere propaganda. Nothing like that. The fund has not come. How can you be fighting on something that has not even happened? Nothing of such happened, please. And I'm using this opportunity to tell you that it was mere propaganda and it was just an imagination of whoever concocted that cheap blackmail. It was just a fiction, so to say.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to speak with us this afternoon. Bisi Kolawole, we wish you the best in your governorship aspirations.